epistemology for the first time, not realizing what it is, and the kind of answers that you'll see in any SE videos.
Why don't we, since Lisa wants to record this, maybe you should deliver that disclaimer on the recording.
I don't have to record
Before
it.
you get misrepresented online.
Daniel really is not as I thought he knew more about the Bible than that.
Okay, I've started the recording, so
Okay.
if
Okay.
that's okay, if you don't want to be on the recording,
Well,
don't
that's
talk.
fine. Are you gonna preempt it? Do we need to justify what we just said?
We'll start with the
Role
claim.
play, okay.
So yeah, what do you?
Ian,
I'm
you
Ian.
introduce?
What's your name?
I'm Daniel.
Daniel. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Daniel and I have been talking already for a few minutes. This is in the context of a meetup, so we're going to assume that we already have enough rapport.
Mm-hmm.
What would you like to discuss today?
I believe in God.
Okay, so would it be fair to say that you think God is real?
Yes.
Okay, so God is a being that exists somewhere or in some manner, and would you say created the world? Is that a fair claim? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
God is real. So, what would you say your confidence level is? Right, where are you at with that? On a scale of maybe 1 to 100, where maybe 1 would be, I have a lot of questions, I'm very uncertain. 100 is, there's not a doubt in my mind, I'm totally convinced that God is real. Where would you be at?
100%.
100%, okay. And so what are your main reasons? What do you think about when you say God is real? What are you thinking about that leads you to believe that?
Well, when I was younger, I read the Bible and I believed it was true.
Okay. So because the Bible has statements about God, including that God exists or that his existence is implied by many statements in the Bible. This would be a reason that God exists. So there are other books that dispute the existence of God. Other religious books that sort of describe God differently, or atheist books. Why? What is it about the Bible that was very convincing?
Well, it was kind of like a book that I read that kind of read me. Like I felt like, I've read a lot of books, and it felt like a book that to me was convicting. In other words, like I would read this, and I felt a conviction.
Okay.
That this was true.
Okay. So the Bible had an effect on you which other books have not.
True. Right.
Okay.
Yes.
And so that was it was very convincing. It lent a lot of credence to the claims that you found in the Bible. Mm-hmm. Would you think that if you have you ever read the scriptures of another religion?
Yes, I have.
Okay. So the what is the Islam?
Quran.
The Quran, or
Mm-hmm.
okay, and those did not produce the same effect in you.
Correct.
What would you make of a person who did say that they read the Quran and it produced an effect in them, and maybe said that they read the Bible and it did not produce an effect in them?
They can believe that if they want to. That's fine. They're entitled to their religious beliefs, but I just think that what I read is true.
Okay, so I just want to be very clear. When you say they're entitled to their religious beliefs, that's fine. Do you think that if they read the Quran and told me, for example, that Muhammad were a prophet of God, mm-hmm. right? Do you think they would be justified in that claim or not?
Like, what do you mean by justified?
Sure. So we're discussing the claim that God exists, right? Indeed, the God of the Bible, to be specific. And so if I were to have this same discussion with them, and they were to say that God exists as described in the Quran, could both of you be right?
Or no.
Only one of you is right.
Right. Yeah.
So you're the one that's right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's an aspect of religious tolerance, but ultimately, at the end of the day, some claims about God are right and some claims about God are wrong.
Sure.
And so when we look at our reasons for believing in the God of the Bible, you stated that when you read the Bible, it gave you a feeling or made an impression on you that other books have not, and that was a reason that you felt it was very true. What I'm asking is, let's say that our Muslim friend, our hypothetical Muslim friend, read the Quran, it made him feel a certain way, but when he read the Bible, it didn't make him feel that way, and that's why he believes the claims that are in the Quran. Can you describe why, your experience with the Bible is more convincing than his experience with the Quran?
Well, I think we all have experiences. We just have to know, like what is true. Like my experience, because I was raised in it, and it's just what I believe, and my parents, raised me to read the Bible, and so I read the Bible, and but the Bible is been around longer than the Quran, so the people that believe in the Quran, Muhammad, he didn't hear from an angel, he heard from probably a demonic spirit, so it's older, it's not as old as Christianity, and Muhammad was false.
I see.
That's just the way it is.
Okay. Well, I mean, there are religions which are older than Christianity, indeed.
Oh yeah.
And so is it? I wonder if oldness is a convincing reason.
Sure, it's one reason. Yeah,
Okay.
I wouldn't say it was the main reason, but yeah, I like old things. So,
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
they old things, they tend to last long because that's
Sure.
why they're old, because they've been
Okay.
around a long time.
That's
But
fair. Okay.
Anyway,
I think that's probably.
One more minute?
Oh, really? One more? Okay. So, I'm actually kind of struggling where to go. Does anyone else want to jump in?
shall I? Or you guys
I
want to
can-
go
I
ahead?
can try. We can try
I
this
had
one.
Yeah,
Anyone else?
why don't Nico, you do a
Nico,
question,
sure.
and we'll do Dino.
Sure, I'll do that.
Let's
So,
do the last question.
have you met people from other religions?
Oh yeah. That's why I'm in Utah today.
What do you feel about them believing different things than yourself?
Oh, I love other people that don't believe like I do, but they're wrong because the Bible, but that condemns everybody, that the God of this world has blinded the minds of people that don't know who God is, and so
Does
I
it
believe
bother
the truth.
Does it bother you Does it bother you that they think that you're wrong?
Oh, no, well, no, because you have to live what you believe, and if hopefully people see that my life is kind of matches up, maybe I hope, and so yeah, well, it's frustrating sometimes when people don't think like I do. I get argumentative sometimes, but yeah, so sometimes it bothers me because I'm a human being, but ultimately I'm used to it.
So you would say that they are wrong, and you would say that you're right, and they would say that you are wrong and that they are right.
Correct.
How would you know? How is there a way that you can come up with that you can create a way in which you know who is right and who's wrong?
So yeah, you have to have discussions with people, right? I can't, I say very simply that I think people are wrong, but it comes from talking to people. So I think, if I'm going to know like what my friend believes, I gotta talk to him, and so that's what we try to do. But ultimately, I don't think there's an easy way to do it. But I think you just have to practice it, try to live it, and have discussions with people, and that's kind of what I do. Okay, is that?
I
is
think
that
that is a really good place to wind
Yeah,
up
and
the
I will just
conversation.
raise my hand and saying
Yeah.
I'm generalizing about the way in which I've seen Christians, theists talk about their.
That's
I
not
feel
how you would
people-
personally
I feel like
answer.
people who are super confident about their belief systems normally haven't talked to people outside their belief
Yeah.
structure.
Right.
Yeah, and again, I don't mean to be derogatory toward people that are caught off guard by this question, but that's generally.
Yeah,
How
you
I
were
see-
role playing how people
Yeah.
are. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Cool.
I think that
I would
was
say,
great.
can I offer some insight into where you went with it?
Yeah.
Or
Go
how do
ahead.
you want to take it? I don't
No,
want
Yeah.
No,
Feedback.
feedback is good.
Feedback, okay,
Yeah.
so the one thing that
Anybody
I would
else, too.
think that well, I know it's artificial, so I don't mean to be, like
I don't-
you would
sure.
think about it. But if you were to challenge me, like what I see would be the way in which the isolating, and you did talk about it, but isolating a reason and calling it like the main reason.
Mhm.
So that's one thing. And then how have I think you brought it up. How have you tested your beliefs? So these are two things I've kind of criticized within street epistemology. The underlying assumption that there's one main reason why I believe is generally kind of the I call it presupposition, for lack of a better word. That's kind of the assumption in SE that I'm going to isolate the one reason why you believe, and I'm going to try to go after that. And I like how you didn't really do that. You just kind of left it. I liked what you did there, because oftentimes I see, what's the main reason? But my belief in God is so multifaceted that, I mean, I could tell you one thing, but like you had said earlier about the nature of conversation where you're eliciting a response, and it's not necessarily wrong, but you've kind of steered the conversation in a way that's making me think, what's the main reason, when it's more multifaceted. So I liked how you
And it
you phrased
usually
that.
is multifaceted, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah, it
it's
is. I
hardly
mean,
ever just one.
it's hardly ever just
especially
one
with the God
reason.
belief.
Right,
Right.
right. So, and this goes back to Old Testament Street Epistemology, which is the Black Book, that you're gonna the thing that they isolate in it, and this is a kind of a epistemic remnant or a fossil of Old Testament atheism, is this idea that faith is just generally a bad epistemology because the application of the outsider test for faith. What you guys brought up in your questions, there are other faiths. And so faith is not generally viewed as epistemology in intellectual
A way
Christian
to know
circles.
things.
It's not a way to know something, it's an actual, I mean, I hate to apply it and be general, but this is something that we all do in general about accepting and trusting something before we engage with it. So faith in the Christian orthodoxy theology is action in light of the evidence. So, but Boghossian defines it as, believing things you don't think are true, or you can't prove anything's true. But your line of questions were respectful in that regard, and it didn't go after.
What's your main reason? Like,
Yeah.
eschew all these other details,
Right.
right? Yeah.
Well, I've seen
Yeah.
recent videos where guys are talking about, I want to isolate the one thing,
Right.
and find out the real reason why they
Yeah,
believe. And I
right.
just think that's just
Sure,
not
sure.
helpful
Yeah.
to come into a conversation
Sure.
like that. And you did
Sometimes
well.
Thank you.
there is
Do you have any
one,
critical
but-
feedback? Thank you for that.
Well, we were
Yeah.
going fast,
Yeah.
so we were both kind of thinking on our feet.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Role-playing,
role playing
so-
is a
right.
little
It's a
different
little different
than
than, so I
actual.
wouldn't be so hard on you
opinions.
about that,
Yeah.
but I wanted to emphasize what I liked about how you, what's a reason you believe this, without that
That what
emphasis
is
on
the
trying
reason?
to, right,
Sure. Yeah.
exactly.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're
Yeah.
allowed for multiple whys.
Excellent.
Should we
Right.
do another one or a real one or?
Yes, for sure.
Okay. Does anyone? So I love these.